everyone, and welcome back, guys, to episode 5 of my F1 1990s career mode, guys. Back on the F1 2013 game, and guys, we are here for round 5 of the season at the Canadian Grand Prix. One of my favourite tracks on the Formula 1 calendar, so, hoping that we can finally take my first win in this season so far, guys. But I can only apologise for the fact that we have missed a couple of weeks off recently, just other series have been taking control over the channel recently, so obviously we are good to be back with this career mode, guys, and obviously very, very different to the other games that I'm playing at the moment. I'm really trying to get through my F1 2011 career mode at the moment, so to go back to this game could be quite odd when it comes to obviously the handling model and everything. Obviously playing F1 2017 beta as well, is taking up quite a bit of my time. I really want that game to be well polished, so hoping I can have as much input as I possibly can to hopefully improve that game, guys. But let's stop talking about that and let's talk about this Grand Prix here today, and ready for the Canadian Grand Prix, starting way down in P9 there, unfortunately, so we've got a long way to go in this Grand Prix. Obviously, guys, if you're new to this series, we do not run qualifying in these races. We simply run a 25% race around every country that had a track on the F1 1990 calendar, guys. So obviously, it doesn't have to be the exact same track like, I think it was Phoenix in the first round, obviously is now Kota for this series, guys, but obviously there is a little bit of flexibility with that. But every country that had a Grand Prix back in 1990, we do run a race in this career mode, guys, if there is that track still on the game, guys. But here, for Canadian Grand Prix, we're starting way down the order, a lot further down than I would preferably like for this race. But what can you do sometimes? You can just see Nigel Mansell on pole position for this race. My teammate Schumacher up in P7 there, myself just one row behind, down in P9, guys. But hopefully, this race could be a very good one for myself. Canada, as I said, one of my favourite tracks, so, hoping that we can have a good race out today, guys. But it's 5 lights for the Canadian Grand Prix, and it's a lights out, and away we go. And we actually get off to a very, very good start there, running in the lean mix there, and getting up into Rich, using slightly longer gears than the rest of the field there. We are able to get back past down my teammate into turn 1. They're taking much avoiding action from one of the Williams cars there. That's Villeneuve on the outside. Coulthard on the inside. There's got Irvine getting all squirrely just ahead of me as well. We're going to try and squeeze between the pair of them here. Make a tiny bit of contact with Coulthard there, but Scheckter completely parks on the apex there. Irvine manages to get around the outside of him as we get parked behind him. Summer manages to save the back end there as we go through turn 4 there. And down into the next corner, we make even more contact with Jody Scheckter there. Not exactly what I wanted in the early stages of this race, but been able to hold on to P5 early on in this Grand Prix here. And Schumacher behind me has also been able to make up a position there. You can just see him up in P6 there, fighting with David Coulthard through the next couple of corners there, guys. We make a little bit of contact with the wall there and skipping on to the end of lap 1 here. And we're still on the gearbox of Jody Scheckter here. We're feeling quite strong at this moment in time. We've done a sub 1 minute 30 opening lap there, and even making a tiny bit more contact with Scheckter there. I just wasn't used to this game, and obviously so used to playing F1 2011 on a pad as well. I was trying to drive like that, and based on any other game known to man, you don't want to drive anything like F1 2011 there. But cutting over the chicane there, doing a little bit of rallycross, ready for Dirt 4 next week. But we dive it down the inside of Jody Scheckter there. Up into P4 we go, and now we're on the hunt for Eddie Irvine there, who is in a podium position at this moment in time. I think we've got Damon Hill and Nigel Mansell leading the way at the moment, guys. But coming to the end of lap 3 here, and we do actually go purple there on a 1 minute 17.7 here. So the pace is definitely here as we close in absolutely massively on Eddie Irvine there through turn 1 and turn 2 there. To see myself, just confirmation that we do go purple there on that lap with a 1 minute 17.7. So a fairly strong lap at this moment in time, guys, obviously with a lot of fuel on board in the car. But following on Eddie Irvine, we're going to dive it down the inside into the next corner there once again. A tiny bit of contact is made between the pair of us there, but I do move up into P3 of the Grand Prix now. Next up, we're going to hunt down Nigel Mansell here. He's actually squabbling with Damon Hill at this moment in time, and obviously it's crucial at this point of the season that Damon Hill, everyone needs to close in massively on him. You might have seen at the start of the video there, guys, he has about a 35-point lead coming on into this Grand Prix though, guys. But we dive it into the pit lane on the end of lap 6. There's Nigel Mansell going into his pit box, and Damon Hill will be coming into his as well, guys. So the top 3 runners all deciding to pit in on this very early pit stop, I would say. Only being able to go a third of the way into the race on this set of tyres there, guys. But Nigel Mansell has been able to jump Damon Hill there for the effective lead of the Grand Prix, guys. There's a lot of drivers just around the pit lane as well. That's David Coulthard, I think, that's just been able to separate between his teammate and Damon Hill there. So obviously very, very ideal for Coulthard there, and also Mansell. You know, maybe he can park the bus just ahead of him through these next couple of laps, guys. But unfortunately, we weren't able to capitalise around these cars that, you know, were effectively, you know, in the way. And you can see on the end of lap 8 there, we do go purple once again on a 1:17.0 there. You may have just heard the engineer saying that Damon Hill trying to pull away the gap from myself here. So, you know, we're putting him under a lot of pressure in this Grand Prix. Coming through the next chicane there, you know, can we line up a move in my favourite overtaking place, turn 6 I think it is, in this Grand Prix. We think about going for another move there, but Hill very, very late on the brakes there, and he is able to hold on to the position there. But we lose the back end slightly on the exit of the corner there. Unfortunately for me, that'll mean we do lose a little bit of time to Damon Hill, and by the end of lap 10 there, you know, we're right back on his gearbox once again here, gaining so much time into that first turn there, pushing Damon Hill through the corner, and hopefully, you know, we can try and move past him in these next couple of laps of this Grand Prix, and then go on the hunt for Nigel Mansell. He's been really able to pull away a little bit of a gap in this second phase of the race here. You know, we've got Eddie Irvine 10 seconds back, so I'm not too worried about him, but we dive it down the inside of Damon Hill there. Up into P2 we go, and now we're in the hunt for one Nigel Mansell here, as you can see. But Damon Hill not willing to let it back down just yet. You know, he's still wanting to put up a fight, and he's got a very, very good run. He thinks about going for a move down into the next chicane there, but thinks better of it, as I absolutely nail my line through there. And now just Nigel Mansell left on my hit list in this Grand Prix. And by the end of lap 14, we've been able to break into the 1:16s there, 1:16.9, which did actually put us purple there. And we're only 1.4 seconds behind Nigel Mansell there, and you know, we're still closing in absolutely massively there. But Damon Hill has gone even quicker than myself there, guys, so we're already closing in on each other at this moment in time in the Grand Prix here. You know, hopefully for me, this could pay dividends for myself, but you know, we're still trying to close in on Nigel Mansell here, and Damon Hill still just 4 tenths back from me, and he's really trying to put me under pressure here. You know, I was kind of hoping, you know, he'd just back off and try and let us both close in on Nigel Mansell here, guys. But coming down into the final chicane, I get a wheel on the grass, can't get the car turned in, lose the back end over the curbs there, and that has been a very costly mistake. Unfortunately for myself, I lose the place to Damon Hill, lose a huge amount of time as well. I think we've lost about 6-7 seconds on that lap alone there, guys, and that's going to leave me down in P3 until the very end of this Grand Prix there, guys. And unfortunately for me, you know, Damon Hill applying the pressure so well there, and unfortunately for myself, you know, just my error, you know, I can't blame anyone else for that. Just dip the wheel in the grass as we came into the final chicane there, guys. But unfortunately for me, that's going to mean the prospect of a win completely out the window there, and we are going to come through down in P3 there. Still a very strong result, considering we started down in P9 there, and it's a podium position for the Canadian Grand Prix. There we are then, guys, the end to the Canadian Grand Prix. You know, it was going so well all the way up until that one big mistake that we made with 3 laps to go in that Grand Prix there. But Nigel Mansell takes home the race win ahead of Damon Hill there. So obviously Damon Hill, he's had 3 wins and 2 second places so far in this season, guys. And obviously after that retirement last time out at the Monaco Grand Prix, you know, it's not looking so strong for myself at this moment in time in the series there. But you know, podium in the Ferrari car around that track, obviously very, very good from myself. We had Eddie Irvine down in P4 there with Alain Prost once again doing very, very well in that Williams FW21 there. Jody Scheckter down in P6 there. David Coulthard down in P7 there, with my teammate Michael Schumacher down in P8 there, guys. But having a look at the drivers' standings there, and there's 5 drivers from 5 different cars in the top 5 overall there. But Damon Hill still has a 28-point lead over Nigel Mansell there. He's closing it back down, but we're over 50 points back from Damon Hill now. You know, it's really looking like we're going to have to bring an absolute surge to the second half of this season there, guys. But up in P4 still, you know, best of the non-British so far, and obviously we're just behind Eddie Irvine there, so we're also, you know, in a little bit of a battle to be the best Ferrari overall in this career mode, guys, as well. But Alain Prost still, you know, right behind me there on the point standings as well, and, you know, hopefully we can try and pull away a little bit of a gap from him in the next few races there. Having a look further down, we've got my teammate Michael Schumacher down in P9 there. Not exactly what we need from him in this season so far there. But Ralf Schumacher and Ivan Capelli definitely not doing very well overall there. If I'm not mistaken, Ivan Capelli, no, it might have been Capelli that actually retired from that race there, guys. We can just see, have a look at the constructors standings there, and two Williams teams lead the way there. We're down in P4 there, so we've obviously got best of Ferrari in the drivers and best of Ferrari overall in the constructors as well, guys. But hopefully, you guys have enjoyed this video. Do not forget to like, subscribe if you are new around here, and if you do want to see more of my F1 1990s career mode, guys. And hopefully I will see you next time for the British Grand Prix.
So promise that you'll catch me.